Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this is a March 2020 astro update for Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising. Gemini, this is a month of a lot of career related focus, especially because this is an area where Mercury retrograde has begun. So as the month of March commences, we have the Sun in Pisces, which is your 10th house of career, and Mercury retrograded in February in this house and is still there in that 10th house. So this is about some kind of situation involving your career that may be like internal, where you're rethinking your type of career, or something with your superiors, because the 10th house can be authority figure. So like in the workplace, the people that are over you, if you're having some kind of it could be a misunderstanding, or you're not on the same page, some kind of distortion, or maybe even trying to enter your career and finding some kind of challenge. What's going to happen is that on the 4th of March, Mercury is going back into Aquarius. So Mercury will be dipping back into the 9th house, which is a fellow air sign. And this is a philosophical house. It's also the house of higher education. So perhaps one of the bones of contention, or, what seems to be a communication gap between you and your employer, is the idea of like what your qualifications are. So they may say, no, you can't get that raise or that promotion because you don't have a master's degree. And so you may be looking into master's programs. Maybe you already have a bachelor's and you're looking into something else. And Mercury itself can be research, but when, the in research is, again, it means again, like return. So you may be revisiting some kind of university that you went to, or their course of studies, trying to see if this is something that you want to do. Or it could be more on the philosophical level, Gemini, where you're saying, is this really in alignment with my values, with what I believe life is about? And kind of like approaching it from that angle. So it's a time to really put your career trajectory, I'm trying to say that word properly, in proper perspective while you're having this Mercury retrograde. And even in some cases, the 10th house can be the father or the parent that had the most authority in the child's life, and whether or not that, how did that fit into your worldview, and kind of rethinking that, thinking or having a misunderstanding with the father. But then in the 9th house, seeing how this plays into a lot of things, like how you have viewed life. When we talk about life philosophy, even somebody who's a cynic has their own philosophy of life. I'm smiling because my late father, he had a plaque in his office, and it said, "There's no such thing as a free lunch." He was a Taurus. So, that kind of, to me, that's very cynical. I mean, I'm laughing, but that's, and he had that side to him. Not all of it. He was a very positive person in many ways. But I think that philosophy is something that people think is so lofty that it's just one thing. No, it's it's our worldview. And speaking of worldview, the 9th house can also be the house of, world travel, or, traveling long distances. So with Mercury retrograde, this might be something to do with your career, where it's like, hey, would you like to transfer to the United Emirates? How does that strike you? And you live in the United States, and it's like, wow, that's pretty far. Let me think about that. But you want to promote, you want to progress your career. But it's interesting now that I think about it, Gemini, is that you also have Neptune in this long transit through your 10th house. So for some Geminis in the last almost decade, you may have felt like you've been in the wilderness, kind of wandering around trying to figure out what your place is. And that can also have a spiritual impact. And the ninth house is the God house. So perhaps some of you who have this kind of, Gemini is a mental sign. So you may just be attached to your intellect, and yet you're having these mystical longings that have a career flavor to them. You might be saying, do I want to study yoga? This is something, maybe this is the time to do it, just things like that. So on the same day that Mercury goes back into that ninth house, the 4th, Venus goes into Taurus, which is your 12th house. The 12th house is secluded. It's Venus there. Venus can bring money, depending on what house she is in. And in the 12th house, this may have something to do with perhaps receiving money in a very, I mean, this sounds kind of weird, in an anonymous way. Or I've heard like Jupiter in the 12th could be like good, past life, good karma. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like that, like an unexpected gift, like manna from heaven, but also some kind of a spiritual relationship, soulmate or twin flames situation happening, or for some people, a clandestine affair, an affair that you're keeping secret. Or it might not be that you're cheating with somebody. It could be that you are just keeping it on the down low for whatever reason. Maybe you just don't want the scrutiny right now. On the 9th, Mercury goes direct at 28 degrees of Aquarius in that 9th house. So resolving issues concerning higher education, religious tendencies, and your career, when it goes back into that 10th house, or, just a direction. Maybe you're even thinking of just quitting your job and going into becoming a full-time student, but something gets resolved there. Also, if you're getting a passport, maybe you can get all your paperwork together. On the same day, there's a full moon at 19 degrees of Virgo in the 4th house of home and family. So I'm seeing these kinds of like pairs of transits on the same day, which is, I always try to draw connections. Like, is there something going on here? Now, in this case, the 4th house is your home life, and the full moon can bring things to awareness. So again, if you have been, dealing with a father, and maybe there's been some kind of problems, seeing eye to eye, not necessarily fighting, but just having like a communication breakdown. You may, around the time of the 9th, say, oh my gosh, now I get it. Now I understand why I am the way that I am and why I'm having this relationship. The 4th house is home. So this could be, it's also the mother. So if there was some kind of a thing, maybe you're, deciding to cut ties with the mother, if there's something with the father and the mother, something along those lines, or simply seeing her, appreciating her, because you see her full essence. Maybe something is made aware of what she had to go through. If she and your father maybe are not together, or even if you observe them together and you see how he treats her, who knows? But this can also be if you're selling a home, and who knows? Maybe you have accepted a job offer overseas, for an overseas, and you have to sell your home, and you put it on the market. Luckily, Mercury has gone direct on the same day, but it won't be out of its shadow until the 30th. Now, Mercury goes back into Pisces a week later on the 16th, back into that 10th house, career house. On the 19th, we have our astrological new year. For you, this is the 11th house of hopes and wishes and friendships, groups, associations. That the sun here warming your relations. You're already very social, Gemini, so this will ramp things up. On the 21st, only 2 days later, Saturn goes into Aquarius. This is going to be in that 9th house. Now, I have a whole video. You can check my playlist on my channel if you haven't seen it or listened to it already, about Saturn and Aquarius for Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising. So check that out on my playlist for Saturn transits through Aquarius. Briefly, this is going to be something connected to either getting serious about your education, higher education. And again, what's going on earlier in the month with the Mercury retrograding here. You might have been rethinking something and saying, you know what, you're in a certain job. Maybe you have an associate's degree and you want to get a bachelor's degree. Maybe it's not so grandiose as a graduate degree. But that's going to be a theme. It's going to be more of a theme in 2021 because come May, Saturn's only going to get to 1 degree of Aquarius and it's going to retrograde. And by July, it's going to actually go back into Capricorn. So go back into your 8th house and finish up some business there for several months until December. So that's actually quite a long time. That's like 5 months when it finally goes back into Aquarius and then into 2021. So this foray into Aquarius, into your 9th house, could be enough of a push to get you enrolled in college, though. That's the point. I mean, whether or not you stick with it is a different story, but I think that you will, because if it's something that you feel you need, then Saturn is asking you to build a foundation here. For some people, Saturn, because it rules the career sector, maybe this is about you building a career in a foreign country. On the 24th, we have a new moon at 4 degrees of Aries, 11th house, number 4, number of stability, foundation. We're in a 4 universal year in numerology, and this is in your area of hopes and wishes. So definitely set intentions. This is considered by traditional astrologers to be the luckiest house. So, make your wishes, make your wish for what you want. And I was going to say dream big, but I also feel like it's good to dream in a way that really supports the accomplishment of these dreams. I don't like people to just do things very randomly and haphazardly, but simply believing that you can achieve goals. I think with the number 4, we're talking about piece by brick by brick by brick, rather than, I want this mansion tomorrow. And I guess that's what I was kind of getting at is this idea of perhaps really, having more realistic dreams. And that doesn't sound sexy, though. That's why I kind of hesitated saying it. But I really do believe it. I think that ultimately we are more likely to achieve things that we're, you know, going about in a methodical way. And I think that's wonderful. I don't think that there's anything, it's all good, in other words. So, yeah. Um, let me see what else I've got for you. And then on the 30th, Mars goes into Aquarius. So, your ninth house. Are you roaming, free in a foreign country? Just kind of like getting the lay of the land, or are you on a soapbox? Are you like kind of a zealot for some reason? And maybe it has to do with a new moon in the 11th house. Maybe you've joined some activist group, and you are like, on the soapbox, shouting out your philosophy in a very combative way. It can also be just being very active in academia or what have you. So, and who knows, I've been talking about as a student, but maybe this is as a professor. Maybe you're having issues with being an adjunct professor and you want to have tenure. Who knows? But anyway, Gemini, I hope that this resonates with you. Maybe if you're listening in February, you can see how this could possibly be true in some way, shape, or form in your life. If you would like to get more specific, where I look at your natal chart, I would love to do it. My favorite thing. So check me out. I have all kinds of readings. I'm at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. Take care. Bye.